was here. Imagine who you see at the moment.
What's going on, guys?
Sterling Boyd.
See you. See you.
Thanks for taking the time. Your first interview for 16 Blocks of Music. Parlor interview session.
Awesome.
Representing the Ziggurat. 25 years.
25 years.
And playing here tonight.
Yep. That's right. With Bethlehem.
Oh yeah, what you got in store tonight?
Bethlehem, State of Aggression, Brain Sludge from Radford.
Nice.
Oh, indeed. 25 years. What was the first show?
The first show was
back in the time machine.
First show was a house party in Radford near the railroad tracks.
Oh
At
yes.
one of our older buddies' house, Stephen Roy.
At Stephen Gore's?
Yeah, Stephen Gore's place.
Of GPW 50.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
Oh, that wasn't near Danny Phillips' place.
It eventually is the same place.
Oh,
Years
Joe,
later. Yep.
I've been to that place.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Kuru made many covers for the previous run of bands.
Yep.
One of which you were on.
Yep.
You recall that?
I do. I
We're
still
gonna,
have it.
we're gonna cut to that in the first selection.
Cool. Cool.
It's actually at the History Museum right now,
Oh, nice.
all the way till November.
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
I will.
Indeed. So you want to take some?
Do you want to talk about the writing?
Yes, we can go into it. I don't run so deep with metal theme or vibe or genre or how to describe the music, but I have read a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft, and I noticed that how you describe your time and band. Lovecraftian? What is that?
Lovecraftian is one of our major aspects for sure. You know, writing about horror and nightmares and such. It was just very natural to adapt them into the songwriting, you know, at some point. And once we did, it just took over, became a personality of its own, and really ended up defining the band.
Wow. Are there similar bands that are on that kind of tip? With,
There are.
I know he's here and associated with a lot of things.
Most of the bands that are strictly related to Lovecraft stay in obscurity. They never, you know, they stay their own cult form. You know, as you can see with us as well. You know, a lot of other bands touch on it, like Cataclysm and Deicide touches on it here and there.
Yeah, Cradle of Filth even touched on it with one of their albums. Usually they just do one album that'll touch on H.P. Lovecraft's material. Some stay within that mythos. So that's kind of what we do.
Whereas our general rule of thumb since adopting Lovecraft into it is that every other album will be related to H.P. Lovecraft. So our first one was Hymns of the Cthulhu Mythos, and our second one was about mythology, Confrontation with the Disciples of the Shadow Walker. And our third one, Plague the Pallid Mask, was once again fully about Lovecraft. And then we did an album about an author named Peter F. Hamilton with Beyond the Threshold of Reality. And our next one will once again be Lovecraft again.
I love the literary aspect, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like different, I suppose, than being, like, you're not a cover band, and also every other album allows you not, I imagine, not to be kind of, have to do it every time.
Yeah,
So,
it's something that I enjoy and I love, but I have to be able to branch out into different aspects, whether it's, you know, another author, mythology, something in science fiction, Twilight Zone eventually.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
A great theme song.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, actually get into the episodes and turn those into songs.
I love that idea. Picture a man going on a journey beyond sight and sound.
Oh, yeah. And
Plenty
it
of
fits
subject
right.
matter.
Oh, for sure. That's some of the best. Speaking of black and white, you know, our next issue is black and white too.
Awesome.
And it's some rich material. Jump in. You're creative director, Rita Brain.
If you could go back and give your teenage self some advice, what would it be?
Record earlier.
Mine would be stay focused.
I mean, I would say you guys have done a pretty good job of that.
Yeah. No breaks. Stay after it.
Yeah.
Don't take 5 years here and there.
Yeah. And even though life happens and it kind of forces things to get awkward once in a while, you know, it always ends up coming back. The stars align again. Here we are.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I just want the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't really need a power, I just need that.
It's either going to be to fly or invisibility.
What's your favorite piece of clothing that you own?
Jeez.
Some curveballs.
I have an orange pumpkin head shirt that he got me recently. It's right now my current favorite.
What's your go to bed ritual after a show?
Usually a shower. And then just some light reading, drift off to sleep.
Moan and ache, clean up from all the sweat. Probably pace around the house for an hour or two. Sometimes I can't go to sleep after, not immediately. And just kind of do my slow chill, like getting off of the midnight shift. You gotta break down for an hour or two to actually really go to sleep. So.
This is a little bit of a dark question, but I thought you might enjoy it. Who would you want to write your obituary?
Well, Lovecraft is dead. He can't do that. Jeez.
I'd let Dwayne write mine.
I couldn't think of anyone I'd like to recommend. Someone who's going to take an overly ridiculous monolithic turn and never made it.
All right, my last question. 3 people dead or alive that you would like to eat dinner with.
H.P. Lovecraft, Charlie Chaplin, and King Kong.
Any of my early idols, I don't know. I have a lot of respect for James Hetfield, so I think that'd be really good. But, right off the top of my head, I'm not too sure. But he is definitely one.
Well, that's a hard act to follow. I just think you made a Lovecraftian fan a little spooked about who's going to write your obituary.
Well, I mean, of all the people you could ever ask in an interview
Absolutely.
question, I feel like
Yeah.
it was semi-appropriate.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let me follow that up there. So you said your brother, right? It's amazing. How is that collaboration? There's very many other bandmates in music. So how is that relationship there in music?
Well, it makes things a little easier because there's a link there as far as predicting where it's going to go or what needs to happen in a moment where things might get loose. We have a connection there. And also creatively, we also kind of know where the other's going. Sometimes with it, and other times bouncing wild ideas. He's more receptive to that.
For me, it's, ever since the instruments came into the household at a young age, we were there together, writing together, being in each other's bands, exploring each other's music, being raised on MTV. The influences were all there in unison. So while he branched into a more black metal style, and I kind of kept with my his 80s retro metal. We still grew up side by side listening to the same things and drawing the same influence and everything. And it shows in the writing when I get to a riff or have a new segment that I've written, and I just give a casual, generic description that no one else would be able to understand. It just comes right out with it, exactly what it's supposed to be. And the beat tells me something. Go like I actually get it, and I'm able to do it, and that makes it really good. And, having other members, that aren't, related to my brother in the band, I look at him as the glue from the beginning. Whether it's a live performance, whether it's a recording, he's that glue that's been with me, since I was 12 years old.
Indeed. And speaking of 25 years, speaking shorthand with brothers, but also it's a lot of playing together, probably tens of thousands of hours.
Easily.
We were looking up a list of bands that stayed together for 25 years, specifically in maybe the hardcore band. Are there any brother Hetfield earlier? Are there any other kind of veteran players? After so long, it's a lot of many brothers.
All as far as brothers or the longevity?
Well, maybe both the longevity. Speaking to
All the bands I listen to, I said I'm a fan of the old 80s '60s metal. All my heroes are still around. Judas Priest,
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, Motley Crue, the Scorpions. You know, all my faves are pushing 40 years of music, which is just insane, amazing. They're still putting it out.
It is. It kind of proves a little bit of the myth of, live hard and leave a pretty body or whatever that rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of thing. Is that a wild lifestyle is probably pretty hard for 25 years. So the guys that made it this far, thankfully, you probably. How would you compare yourself as a player now to the early first house show in the days? If you look back.
After 25 years, I'm a massively better musician. You know, there's no question about that. I feel like my songwriting earlier on was a lot more complex and chaotic. You know, because you're a new guitar player and you're writing things that are completely out of the norm. Over the years, it's just gotten better and better and better.
More mindful of your health, as far as the show aspect and partying. Longevity becomes more important. Self-control on stage and off. Breathing, keeping cool, keeping in the best form, and staying focused. Not letting like before, going on stage, recreation get in the way of the music. Or if you're playing multiple shows day after day, having the night before ruin the next day. Being mindful of your health and just making the music fun.
You see that with the big bands too. Ozzy's still here because he stopped doing drugs. A lot of people watch them crash and burn during their life and acid drugs or whatever. And the ones who are still around are the ones who grew up and took that being mindful of themselves and their health, and they actually want to make music for a long time or they want to party.
And sadly, death is like a one-way ticket to being skyrocketed to fame. Anyone who has already passed, they are legends, kind of goes along with it.
Yes, that's unfortunate with the 27-year-old club, because you could only imagine what they could have shown.
Exactly.
I'll pass it off back here to you. Are we good? Yeah, maybe just a quick shout out to the band members.
Well, we're glad to have Bethlehem here on
Let's get some shout outs here.
their tour. And,
Where are they coming out?
they're from Pittsburgh. They're doing an East Coast run. So glad to have them here tonight. It's their first time in Blacksburg. I've talked to them about the 16 blocks and this area, and they're looking forward to checking it out. I gave them all a issue.
Okay, cool.
Yep, so spreading that. Brain Sludge, young, up-and-coming technical death metal band, go to Radford University. And then State of Aggression out of Roanoke. Those veterans bringing the thrash. They're all here tonight. $10. Looking forward to it.
All right, fellas.
Thank you.
That's how you do it.
Thanks for the interview.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric just wants me to get a couple pictures.